What's up, nerds? Thank you for joining us on the preview for the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How stoked are you, Jerry?
Pretty excited.
I can't sleep. It's it's 24 hours away. I can't sleep. What
And
am I
just
going to
gonna
do? Just going to stay up the whole 24 hours.
root,
So, hey, insomnia, it's worth it. Let's get into this thing, man. What do they have to do to wrap this show up? What can we look forward to get that satisfying big finish that we're hoping for?
uh, there's so much they have to do. I mean, there's so many open ends left for an hour of TV.
Right,
I mean, we're gonna have to come to some conclusion with who the power broker is. I'm guessing maybe what the power broker is even mad about.
right.
May help uh, and see some kind of resolution with Carly.
Sure, sure.
I've come to the conclusion, though. I still am very dead set on the idea that Sharon is the power broker, but I have a feeling that she's going to walk away from the series not having to let them know that, and somehow getting some kind of redemption from the government, allowing her back into the United States, where her power gets extended further than just magical.
Right. Yeah, if she's not the power broker, then she's heavily involved in what the power broker is doing.
Yeah,
Definitely. So, like you said, tons of loose ends. My favorite character in this series has been Baron Zemo. Do we see him again?
maybe just like a cell door closing on the raft.
See, I think we see him twice. I think we see him going into the cell, and I think we see him escaping the cell.
See, I think that they have a very uh it's like the perfect opportunity to put him on the raft, and then maybe Zemo isn't the most important thing you see on the raft. Maybe you see who else is on the raft.
Who might be on the raft, Jerry?
Anybody.
Mephisto.
Yes. Hey, that's where it's at. Dottie, she's just still there. Just like, man, my daughter's still upstairs. She hasn't eaten.
She's still hungry. All right, so let's kind of break down each character and see where this episode, where you think where it's going to leave them, and where we see them next season, if there is a next season. So let's start off with the obvious ones. What about Sam?
I think Sam will become Captain America.
Full on with the shield, totally Captain America looking costume. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
some Wakanda version of it.
Right. You made a comment in the last video about this being like a Wakandan thing,
Yeah.
and the like that purple glow that
Yeah.
the Black Panther suit has. I think that would be kind of a cool like nod to the fact that we're kind of losing that character, or at
Yeah.
least that version of the character. I think that would be awesome.
I also think that, it's kind of poignant to the idea that, for the last decade or so of Marvel movies, um, Tony was the person who was giving out the new tech to everybody. And now with the passing of Tony, they have to go someplace else, and so you have Suri now, making sure that everybody needs what they need to have to continue on.
Right. Yeah, and she kind of fits a couple of roles. She can sort of fit that Tony Stark tech role, and she can also most likely fit her brother's role as Black Panther.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a discussion for another time. All right. What about Bucky? Does he get the redemption story that we've been waiting for all season, or do we have to hold out on that for some other time?
No, I think that Bucky's meant to be kind of troubled. Like, I don't know how much he's. You're supposed to see like a wrap up of. I honestly think that they need a season two of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
A
Maybe
hundred percent.
Maybe Winter Soldier just like roams around and joins up with random characters, and they just make a series every. This gives you the new incarnation of Captain America, so that we got that. Now he goes over and he finds, here's the new whoever, you know. But this series has been so good. The idea of it
Really.
just ending here, and I think that you really have learned a lot about Bucky in general. Oh, I mean, he missed like 12 hours of therapy and like ended up back in jail. And now we've gone on like 5 episodes. And he hasn't made one appointment. Just saying.
Very true. Yeah. He's got to put in the work, man. He's got to
Maybe
put in
that's how
the
it
work.
ends. He ends up on the raft too because he didn't go to his therapy appointment.
Failure to report. I totally agree with your assessment of Sharon. She's going to either be the power broker, she's going to have something to do with the power broker. We're going to know it. Maybe some other characters will know it. I actually think Zemo is going to know it, but I don't think our two main heroes are going to get to know it. And I think that's
Yeah,
where we're going to leave her at the end of the season.
I agree. I think that I also think there's just a possibility that I put it in one of my videos that the power broker is 3 people. So
Could be. Very well
um,
could be.
Tessa now
So
she's in the mix too. So
that's right. Yes. Which leads me to my next question. How much more of Contessa Valentina
uh,
Allegra de
the
Fontaine,
Fontaine, yeah.
aka Val, how much more of her do we see?
I don't know if we see her at all. Maybe we might see her off screen, and I have a feeling that before the end of the episode, that black card ends up changing to show something that's written on it.
Yes. I have a theory that Val, John Walker, and all of our kind of ancillary characters, Sharon, Zemo, all of them, every last one of them, except Bucky and Sam, are going to end up forming the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I agree.
And I think we see Val one more time. And I think we see her in a meeting with Thunderbolt Ross and Sharon.
Yeah,
That's
I could see that happening.
yeah. All right. Zemo, he's being taken to the raft by the Dora Milaje. I don't think he stays there.
I could see him staying, but I mean, anything could change, I guess.
Zemo is too
Unless
rad,
Thunderbolt Ross lets him out.
right? Zemo is too rad to stay in jail. He's getting out.
I
I'm
mean,
calling it
he's
right
been
now.
there for a while. He's been there for a while.
Yes. So, all right. What about Isaiah Bradley and by extension Elijah Bradley? Do we hear or see any more of the Black Captain America and his grandson, who we know becomes Patriot?
I would imagine that we're going to see something involving them when they see Falcon for the first time.
Yes, I think that that's one of the big threads that they need to leave dangling for a season 2. And Sebastian Stan has already come out and openly said, we need a season 2 of this. And I don't think that Marvel would even let him say something like that unless it was already on the
Yeah.
table. Um,
Yeah, I think
and
it's a big difference between that and WandaVision, where it was pretty much, it was definitive from the beginning that it was a one and done.
right.
Uh,
Yeah.
this. I mean, when they're planning a multi-season arc of Loki, that this is a series that needs.
Yes. And I think honestly, Sam and Bucky are their characters are best served on TV.
Yeah,
I think
I think that a lot of story you can get out of the way without having to devote a whole movie to it.
right. And put them in the movies too.
Yeah,
But I mean, there's so much to unwrap there, especially with the growth of Sam as the new Captain America. But I think we're gonna see, like you said, when Sam shows up, he's Captain America. He's got the shield. That's gonna do something for Elijah. And I think that's how we get the sort of impetus of him becoming Patriot.
I agree. How
All
about
right.
do you think we'll see old man Steve Rogers?
I don't.
I don't think so either.
I hoped that we would, but I don't think so. I think that's just one more thing that they don't need to shove in, you know. There's so much going on and I just don't think that there's room for that. Plus, the whole idea here is to elevate Sam to
Yeah,
be Captain America. It's like we've done a couple of things about pro wrestling on here. It's like back in the old days when we were kids, every time WWF would try to elevate a new good guy, they would always end up losing all of their heat to Hulk Hogan because he would come in and save the day. And so you never got that elevated star, right? Well, Sam can't be Captain America if Steve Rogers has to come in and save the day, you know?
What if all it is like at the very end of it when um Sam is being acknowledged as uh the new Captain America, you see a panning off shot of just the back of an old man's head in the living room of Isaiah Bradley's house. Whereas those the two of them sitting inside the living room as it close out. It's a smile and a nod. It's not really doesn't even have to be Chris Evans. Just some old white guy in there with Isaiah Bradley. It's totally implied. You know what it means, and it gives it goes off. It ends the story of the two Captain Americas. To
Yeah.
this new.
I could get down with his involvement if it was a kind of a brief thing, yeah. Like, or as, maybe they're introducing Sam as the new Captain America, like a wide crowd shot, and you just Sam kind of catches that Steve is in the crowd and he just kind of like nods at him and that's it.
Yeah.
Or like you said, I would love to see like just a scene, no dialogue, just a scene of maybe Isaiah opens his door and we see the back of the old man head there, and we get the impression that there's going to be some kind of a conversation. That'd be fine. I'd be fine with that.
You see like Sam just walking down the mall of DC, and then you see an old person walk up on him. He's like, "On your left."
That'd be great. See, Kevin Feige, this man has a brain for Marvel. Hire this man. All right. Well, who we're missing? Carly. What becomes of Carly and the overall movement of Flag Smashers?
I will say this about the show itself. I think that for all the good the show is, and I mean, it's so good. I don't think they've given a very good reason why Carly's even angry. So I don't know how we wrap it up like with a bow. I feel like she has to walk off into the sunset. Also, I mean, maybe she's the last of the Flag Smashers. Somehow she's the one who survives, and obviously, I'm guessing that she probably ends up with uh, on the Thunderbolts also.
Yeah.
But I guess I can't see how this in an hour. I mean, there's just so much that has to be wrapped up that she's like,
Right.
there's an ending to this story.
Yeah, no, this should have been like a two-part finale or a 90-minute episode or something, because it's going to be real tight.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any other hopes or dreams or wishes for this upcoming episode?
Um, I want to see something more about Madripoor, which I think will get a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Wrap up of it. I you know. Hmm.
I think we're going to see Madripoor one last time when we see Val and Sharon together.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That could be definitely it. Or maybe Sharon back in the United States now being cleared and she's on the phone with somebody, and then when they show the other side of the phone, you see that it's Val and Madripoor.
Yeah, that would work for me.
I don't know how the show's just like, it hasn't disappointed me. Not one episode's disappointed me, but I just don't know how they wrap it up. I mean, it's just so much story left.
Right. I feel like if this there's two ways to look at it. If they're going into a season 2, then they don't have to wrap everything up. They can leave some things dangling. But if they're planning on this being a one and done, they better get their stuff together.
Exactly.
But yeah, I my big hope for the show is to see Zemo get away.
I know one thing we did miss. What do we think happens with John Walker and his makeshift aluminum can shield?
His Wish.com Captain America shield. I see him going to this big New York City confrontation between Sam and the Flag Smashers. I see him getting involved, and I see Bucky taking him out, not destroying him or killing him or anything, but I see Bucky stopping him. But I don't see him coming to any sort of justice. I could see operatives extracting Carly, extracting John Walker, and even taking part in extracting Zemo from the raft. and having them all sort of show up somewhere else. And we come to find out it's,
I
Thunderbolt.
see. I see. I think that I could see Zemo on the raft, hand next to him, John Walker on the raft, hand next to him, Carly's in the next cell, and then you see Thunderbolt Ross walk in or Val walk in, very similar to the end of Iron Man with I'm here to talk to you about an initiative.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the whole idea behind the Thunderbolts initially, was that it was, first of all, it was led by Zemo, and they were pretend superheroes. Um, and yeah, I could get down with that for sure. That'd be a great ending, and I think it would kind of give it that tie into the film universe. Um, I'd be good with that. All right. Well, nerds, tomorrow it's the big day. Actually, by the time you're watching this, today is the big day. Jerry and I will be watching this program uh, at the stroke of midnight, unless it drops early like it has been.
Yeah.
Uh, and I assume that you guys will be hearing our review on Friday as soon as I can possibly get it out onto the internet. That's it from us this evening, nerds. Don't forget to follow us on social media at We Them Nerds on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And also, don't forget, we are giving away this Baron Zemo Funko Pop. We will probably be choosing a winner. What do you think, Jerry? The first Loki show?
I would assume yes. That's maybe Modoc or something. We'll see.
Maybe so. Yeah, soon, very soon. And if you want to be one of those lucky people who's considered as a possible winner, you need to comment below. You need to follow us on social media. You need to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button and or that little logo in the corner if you're on a PC or a Mac. Apparently, it doesn't show up on phones. Thanks a lot, you're terrible. And that's it. We'll see you soon. Later, nerds. Be good. Be good to each other.
Stay nerdy.